Hello everyone, with Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, June 28, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. You can still see that we have a couple troughs to the north of the eastern Caribbean. We can see that tropical wave that has been affecting portions of the eastern Caribbean since yesterday and the day before has pushed its way westward, so it's now affecting portions of northern Venezuela, making its way into the ABC Islands, not to mention sections of the Leeward Islands including Puerto Rico at this time. And we can see another tropical wave to the far east of there, out in the main development region, and another one to the east of that right there off the coast of Africa. Taking a look at the visible satellite images before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with those troughs to the north of Puerto Rico and the eastern Caribbean. We can also see the clouds associated with that tropical wave right there, affecting portions of the Leeward Islands and Puerto Rico. So the US and British Virgin Islands, Antigua, Anguilla, St. Barts, St. Kitts and Nevis definitely getting in on some amount of overcast skies, showers and thunderstorms at this time. We can also see the clouds associated with those tropical waves that we mentioned as well, right there off the northeastern coast of French Guyana and right there off the coast of Africa. We'll be talking more about the weather across the Caribbean later on. Let's focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Wednesday. It was stated in yesterday's video that we would have received some strong afternoon thunder showers, especially across some southern parishes in Jamaica. It was more along the lines of eastern, central and western parishes, with more of it across sections of some southern parishes in Jamaica. And what ended up happening? If we take a look at our first post for the day on our Twitter page, it was posted at 1:16 p.m. and it highlighted some clouds bringing some overcast skies and showers to sections of some southern parishes. So sections of St. Thomas, Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, sections of Westmoreland, sections of St. Elizabeth got in on some amount of overcast skies, showers and thunderstorms. And we even have confirmation from our commenters on our Twitter page confirming the rainfall at that time. Karen stating, teasing us in the Ligani area in Kingston. Then Latoya stating raining in New Longville, Clarendon. Norval Paisley stating rain a drop. Tanya pouring. And day and night with a clip showing the rain in her neck of the woods. So there was definitely some amount of rainfall at that time. Then if we actually take a look at our Instagram page, we can see that we had some more commenters confirming the rainfall. Canterbury, finally raining here on Halfway Tree Road, yes. Another commenter stating rain in Papine. Latoya Tomlinson, rain, thunder and lightning like a storm in Green Acres. So they definitely got in on some amount of rainfall there. Even Intimate Weird JA stating heavy rain in St. Catherine currently. If we actually take a look at our Facebook page, we even have commenters over there as well. Taking a look at what Sade wrote, she said rain in on Old Harbor Road. And then we had Latoya stating raining in New Longville, Clarendon. Then we had Claudine stating southeast, very overcast with thunderstorms now. And then if we actually take a look, we see Shawnee Reynolds stating rain in New Kingston, Sherry Walsh raining in St. Andrew. And if we actually move ahead further to about 2:15 p.m. today, we can see another post was made highlighting the infrared close-up satellite images of Jamaica. We know the sparkling white dots represent some amount of lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes. So we definitely got in on that afternoon thunderstorms across sections of the island. So that daytime heating, all of that air piling up, all of those cumulus clouds popping and transforming themselves into some cumulonimbus clouds, all of that diurnal convection definitely took place across sections of some southern parishes with that pattern shift. So we saw that earlier in the week. We had majority of that convection across sections of some northern parishes in Jamaica. Then it actually shifted and switched over to southern parishes for today. And if we actually take a look, even later on 4:05 p.m. we still saw huge bursts of convection across sections of St. Elizabeth and Manchester, even sections of Clarendon getting in on some of that. And even in the late afternoon hours, in the early evening 5:25 p.m. another post was made highlighting the very same clouds, bring some isolated thunder showers to sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. Even sections of Western St. Thomas got in on some of that, with St. Elizabeth and Manchester wrapping up their fair of showers. And we still had some more commenters coming in with their comments about the rainfall. This comment stating it's just drop one a cent best. But at least they got some rain. Persons on the north coast didn't receive anything, like TG Minidal. They think hot in Montego Bay, so it's not their day today at all. Toria stating thunderstorm in Mandeville. Berylicious stating raining in Kingston. And then we even had some more commenters. J Bolt official stating Spaldings. Clarendon we have thunder, lightning and heavy rain. And Miss Naturally stating Mandeville washway. So that indeed confirms the rainfall for today. If we even take a look at the current visible satellite images up to the point where the sun went down, we can see where we had all of those clouds that made their way into cumulonimbus clouds. Then we had the high cold cloud tops, and we see that better on the infrared satellite images right here, with all of those yellows, reds and yellows, oranges and reds, even some blacks in there, especially across sections of Manchester and St. Elizabeth. That's where we got the deepest convection for today. So that indeed confirms it. And we all know that we have a partnership with See Jamaica's YouTube channel, where we can see the live stream of what's happening across Halfway Tree, Kingston and St. Andrew. Unfortunately, there was an outage today with the live stream, so I would have had something to show, maybe across Halfway Tree, Crossroads, or even the Kingston Harbor, to show that yes, we indeed have confirmation of that rainfall. But due to that outage, we didn't have much to see. Taking a look at the temperatures for tonight, we can see we have 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay and Kingston, and as usual, as the night progresses, these temperatures should be getting lower. As relates to the temperatures for tomorrow, we can see Jamaica embedded in some at least 2 degrees Celsius above average temperatures, as indicated by those gold or orangish colors. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS for 18Z on Thursday. That's 1 p.m. on Thursday actually. And we know that when both the Euro and the GFS are showing the same thing, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. So we know that the average temperatures for the month of June across Jamaica is about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about the equivalent of 32.2 degrees Celsius. So if we should be receiving at least 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures across Jamaica for tomorrow, it should be anywhere from 32.2 degrees Celsius to 34.4 degrees Celsius, right? Or 34.2. Either way, definitely some warmer temperatures for Jamaica for tomorrow. Taking a look at the dry air map, we still see that the driest air is right there across portions of the main development region, right there off the northwestern coast of Africa, with majority of the Caribbean experiencing some moist air, as indicated by all of those blue shades. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast, we can see some slight browns that represent some Saharan dust across portions of Jamaica for 2 p.m. on Thursday, with the most intense browns across the main development region and sections of the eastern Caribbean, and with the tropical wave pushing westward, making its way into portions of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola for 2 p.m. on Thursday, as indicated by those green colors. More of this dust coming in from the main development region will be definitely affecting portions of the leeward and the windward islands, and we see some darker shades of browns in there. So they might have some slight hazy skies, even although it's not as brown or with those darker shades that one would expect at this time of year. Hopefully it stays that way, and it hopefully dissipates by the time it gets to the central Caribbean, where Jamaica is located. As relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that by 12 p.m. on Thursday on both the Euro and the GFS smalls, we still have up to at least 1 or 1.5 meter wave heights to experience across the waters surrounding the island for tomorrow. and that's due to the fact that we still have some weak winds, up to at least 10 to 15 knot winds coming in from the east on both the Euro and the GFS smalls, and we see that air piling up across sections of some central and western parishes, again just like today. So definitely some afternoon convection will be in store for sections of the island again for Thursday, something similar to what happened today, maybe not as robust. We see that the upper level wind shear is a bit different, with the Euro showing the wind shear not so much, even coming in from the east a bit. The GFS showing more of a northerly kind of flow across the island. It will be interesting to see what happens. Either way, we can see that 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 1 p.m. Jamaica time, we see blues stretching from eastern, central, and western Jamaica. So we know eastern parishes, we're talking about St. Thomas, Portland, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Central parishes, St. Anne, St. Mary, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester. Western parishes, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney. So if we actually take a look at the rain forecast, this is 1 p.m. Jamaica time. We see the blues across eastern, central, and western parishes. We even see some darker shades of blue on the Euro across sections of some southern parishes in Jamaica. Southern parishes, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland. The GFS not so robust at 1 p.m., showing more of that rainfall across inland areas of some central and western parishes. Maybe some darker shades of blues across sections of Kingston and St. Andrew at that time. Either way, we have some rainfall in store on both maps. Skipping ahead to about 2 hours later, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. And we see some differences with the intensity of the rainfall on the Euro and the GFS. Euro is not showing that much in intensity, but we do see that blue shades that represent rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica. The GFS is a bit more robust, even showing some darker shades of blues, even some greens in there across the very same spots that it showed that for today. Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth. So who knows, we might get something similar to what happened today across the island for sections of the, Jamaica area for Thursday as well. See some darker shades of blues across sections of Kingston. This is 3 p.m. Jamaica time. We'll see exactly how that unfolds. Either way, both models are predicting rainfall for Thursday, so ensure that you have your rain gear, your umbrella, raincoat, whatever the case may be. And we do indeed see the confirmation of the rainfall, even although the GFS is a bit more robust than the Euro. GFS showing up to at least 1.19 inches of rainfall across sections of central Jamaica, 1.12 inches of rainfall across sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. The Euro not so much with the totals in the rainfall, but we do see that rainfall across those very spots. Again, eastern, central, and western pressures, even across sections of Kingston. So Kingston will definitely be receiving some rainfall for tomorrow. Again, not necessarily everywhere in Kingston, but it's definitely coming. And we're grateful that we're going to be receiving all of this rainfall, considering that we're in the month of June. We usually receive up to 133.35 millimeters of rainfall during this month. So we'll take all the rainfall that we can get to put some kind of dent in the current hydrological drought that we're experiencing. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have that tropical wave bringing portion of the northeastern Caribbean. Some rainfall at this time, so Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis, the US and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, some heavy thunder showers. We see that the southern portion of the eastern Caribbean are starting to get in on a break. So we might get in on more sunshine across sections of, let's say, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago for Thursday, while majority of this rainfall associated with the tropical wave will be continuing to push its way westward and then eventually make it into the Jamaica area by Friday, Saturday and even Sunday. So we'll wait for that. We can see some spotty showers right there across sections of French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala as usual. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we will see all of that rainfall even better across sections of those spots. So let's take a look. From about 1:40 p.m. today, we saw that majority of Puerto Rico was getting in on some very heavy rainfall, especially western Puerto Rico, where we saw those yellows and orange shades. We also saw that rainfall across sections of the British and US Virgin Islands, St. Kitts, St. Martin, sections of St. John's, Montserrat, Guadeloupe got in on some amount of rainfall, Dominica, Martinique as well. Taking a look at the Barbados radar, we can see that rainfall right there to the north of Barbados associated with the leftovers of that tropical wave. So definitely sections of Dominica, Guadeloupe, and even some more rainfall off to the east pushing its way westward across those spots. Maybe some sprinkles here and there across sections of Barbados for tonight, as indicated by those isolated patches of rainfall. Not intense rainfall like what they've been receiving yesterday, but it's definitely coming in tonight. Just some sprinkles, to wrap up that tropical wave. You can see some coming into sections of the Grenadine Islands, Grenada, section of Tobago as well. Taking a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall across sections of Florida associated with some afternoon convection, sections of Cuba, sections of Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, just like what we saw earlier on the satellite images, even across sections of French Guiana as well. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS are still showing some slightly above normal temperatures anywhere from the Eastern Caribbean to the Western Caribbean, with the most being up to at least 3 degrees Celsius above average. But we can see the reds still across sections of the southern and central US that represent that heat wave that they're currently experiencing. So that will continue to remain in place. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast, with the tropical wave leaving, just like I mentioned earlier, tropical wave is leaving the Eastern Caribbean, so more Saharan dust is going to be, replacing it. Hopefully it's not that robust that we don't see the natural blue of the sky. Hopefully it's not that robust that we don't, get our asthma or sinusitis or allergies triggered. We do see some darker shades of browns. Hopefully it's not as robust as what we see across portions of Africa. Hope it actually dissipates very soon and it doesn't make its way into portions of the Central and Western Caribbean either, hopefully. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that majority of the Caribbean should be experiencing some blues. They represent up to at least 1.5 meter wave heights. Majority of the Gulf of Mexico should be receiving some lighter shades of blues that represent up to at least 0.5 of a meter wave height. And that's due to the fact that the strongest wind will be across majority of the Caribbean, up to 20 knot winds, especially right there to the north of Venezuela, where we see those yellows that represent up to 25 knot winds. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS, majority of the Caribbean should be receiving an easterly flow, and we can see that the weakest wind should be right there across portions of the Gulf of Mexico, which makes sense that the weakest wave heights will be across those spots as well. Taking a look at the rain forecast for tomorrow, we can see the reds that represent up to 1 inch or more of rainfall across portions of the Leeward Islands. This is all the rainfall that they're going to be getting tonight into tomorrow, all the way up into 10 p.m. on Thursday. So there's definitely some isolated flash flooding in store for sections of the Leeward Islands, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda. So definitely some more rainfall to receive. Not that much across sections of the Windward Island, but they might still get in on some passing showers or two, as indicated by those greens and yellows that represent up to at least 0.4 of an inch of rainfall. We do see that both the Euro and the GFS are showing that rainfall that we mentioned earlier across portions of Jamaica, sections of southern Cuba to be receiving rainfall, not that robust though. And as usual, the Central American countries to receive more rainfall as usual. So Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, section of Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, section of Costa Rica, Panama. But it's not that robust. We don't see some crazy reds across those spots. We see more in the way of reds, which mean up to 1 inch or more of rainfall across sections of the northern section of South America right there. So Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname and French Guiana as usual. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS are showing the same thing, and that when they're showing the same thing like that, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.